Hey there, welcome back after your Easter weekend to Coding at Home with the Code Hub. We are going to continue where we left off on Friday with functions with parameters. This is a new twist on something that we learned much earlier in the course. As you can see over here, we've got a new syntax added to the way we can build functions. We can actually put parameters inside those parentheses that someone can pass in to us. And you can see from the comment there that we can use those parameter names as variables inside our function. We'll get into that a little bit with a new playground or an addition to an old playground that we made over the weekend for your kind of Easter pleasure. But we had a little bit of homework that we're going to get to first, where we wrote a function out. It took some parameters in. It was turn lock, and we could pass in a parameter called up that was true or false. And then we could also pass in a few other things as well. So let's go take a look at that and see if we can improve on that function and see if you improved it in the same way that we might improve on it now. All right, so we're going to hop over to our iPad here. You can see I'm in the book already looking at my functions with parameters chapter. We were on the moving forward, further forward playground and the generalizing a function playground. So this was our function here that we were playing with, this turn lock up boolean, and we had a number of times parameter as well. And if you can see here, I had a conditional code, right? Because that was the part that we tackled first, was determining whether to turn the lock up or down. And we say if it's up, then we do this loop, and we have inside the loop, we have expert.turnLockUp, because we're inside the if condition. And if it's not up, if it's down, or this is false, we're going to go through this branch. So we're going to go through a loop, and we're going to call turn lock down. Now we can see that we repeat this code here, the for loop, here and here. So I don't know if you worked on this over the weekend. I hope you did. But what I would do here is probably say, do you know what? I'm repeating myself. I could probably take this outside. So let's put the condition inside. So instead of having my loop inside my condition, let's put my condition inside the loop. So let's check to see if up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn the lock up. And then we're going to add an else clause to this because we're inside that one loop. We're actually going to get rid of this loop over here. This one in the else, because we're going to try to remove that if condition from around our two different loops and make it just one loop. All right, we'll take this stuff. We will delete our else clause here. We're actually going to get rid of this at the top. So what I've basically done is I've just gone and I've erased my condition where I checked to see if up, and then where I fell in and did a loop. I'm actually going to try to do the loop first. So let's bring that back here. I'm just going to take away some of these spaces so it all looks a little bit neater. All I'm doing is I'm hitting the delete. It's bringing me back up to the previous line, and I'm hitting return again. So I'll go down here. I'm going to add an else statement to this because I want to, now I'm turning the lock up. Now I want to make sure that I also tell the expert, we'll go find that expert variable that we have. And we'll say dot turn lock down. Okay, so I've tried to clean up my code a little bit. If I quickly scan this, I don't like the way these braces are lining up. Normally you see this one would be indented a little bit. But if we try running it, we'll see if there's an error there. No. Oh, maybe. Let's try going back. Since I don't have a red dot on this page anywhere, let's try going back. And coming forward to generalizing a function. We'll look at our code. It's still got that kind of funky indentation. We'll wait a quick second for the puzzle to load again. All right, and we'll run my code. There's byte. There's the expert. The expert turns around. Okay, so the code works fine. Maybe I'm not a big fan of that because when I look at it, it doesn't look super clean. All right, and everything stopped because I've actually edited the code. So Swift Playground says, hang on, stop running the code over here because I've edited the code here. So maybe the execution would change. What actually happens here, that's what I mean by execution, would change based on the changes I made over here. So now if we hit run my code, we'll see, make sure that we actually solve the puzzle like we did before because we have our little green check mark down there. Okay, Expert's doing his thing, turning the lock up to get the platform up for Byte. Now we're having Byte move over and get ready to get off. The Expert's got to lower the platform again. Yeah, cool. We collected a gem. Now we're going across to the yellow platform. We've got to turn around as the Expert and raise that platform up. So now Byte can go collect that gem. Platform's almost there. All right, there goes Byte. Nice. Okay, so we've done it. We have a note here about parameters, right? The input value to a function, basically just something that you're passing in. It's like if you told your brother or sister, you said, hey, say hello. That hello would be the input value that you're giving them. You're telling them to say the word hello. All right, so that's this playground. Learn to code 2. We're going to go back to this playground in a second, but I want to show you guys a little thing that we worked on over the weekend. So if we exit this playground by hitting that X in the upper left corner, I'm going to go off and hit see all. Now, by this stage, you should have the Code Hub's feed for Swift Playgrounds in your Swift Playgrounds app. But at this point, if you don't, there'll be a link for the Playgrounds page where you can go and hit subscribe to subscribe to these playgrounds. I'm gonna actually go and look at the Holiday Turtle Graphics playground. We had a little minor update to it over the weekend, because so far it's been very Christmas themed for holidays. And you can see now we've added a couple of new items on our playground icon. So let's tap on that and go into that playground. I do want to open it. Okay, so at the very start, you can see this is code that is written in our beginner style of turtle graphics on the iPad. We have just pen up, style forward. We only have one turtle. We can't access it. So only one instance of a turtle. And we write our code. All this code is just calling commands on an instance of a turtle, but hiding a lot of that from us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the new chapter. This is the Christmas chapter. So we're going to tap on this arrow here and go down, skip all these wintry fun, nighttime wintry fun, and go down to decorating the egg. And we're going to tap on the first one, decorate an egg. Okay, so this looks a little bit more like the more in-depth turtle graphics. If you remember, Dylan drew us a person holding a lollipop, and he used multiple turtles to do that. We've got the same kind of thing here. So we've got our turtle. We've actually given it a different name than Waffles and given it a different avatar. We've given it a bunny avatar. There's a note here about adding other turtles. And then we have a function here that takes a parameter. It's called draw egg, And the parameter name is size, and the type of value that we're looking for there is a float, which is basically just like a decimal number. So it could be 1.1 or 1.0 or 3.0. We have a few for loops in this code, and it's all using that turtle one that we defined up above. Now, if you look at the interface, and the interface is just what we call the functions that exist in a particular piece of code you're using. So the way I use the Turtle graphics library is I know that there's a function defined called forward, takes a parameter of distance, and we pass in the size. And I know there's another function or method on our turtle called right, and it has a parameter name of turn degrees, and we pass it 1 here. So we do this loop, then we do this loop here, and we do a little bit of math on our size variable that gets passed in. We have another loop, and again, more math, this time with our float, 0.58. And then another loop as well, with some more math. So all of this is in a function called draw egg. So none of that's been called yet. The only thing that's been called is there's been a turtle created. That's it. If we look down here, we set the background color to white. Not super exciting. We tell the turtle to pick its pen up so it doesn't leave a mark on the screen. And then we have it go get in position to get ready to draw an egg. And we put the pen down. We set the pen size to 6, so it's a little bit bigger than usual so we can see it. We set the color, and then we say draw egg size 1. So that's how we call our function with a parameter. So if I hit run my code, and then we do some other stuff, and let's run our code to see what happens. All right, there goes our bunny drawing an egg. That's inside the loop. One of the other loops, that's the middle loop. Okay, cool, there's one egg, and then we change our pen size to 25, a bit bigger. Then we set our color to blue. So we've just drawn 2 eggs with this new function with parameters and our instance of a turtle. So this is kind of cool, and the goal of this playground is to get you to just play around and decorate. Most of the holiday Turtle graphics playgrounds are really just to get you to draw a tree and then decorate the tree, or try to draw a snowman. For the Easter theme, we're drawing eggs. So let's see, let's go here and say, all right, well, there was a note here about adding other turtles. Let's explore that a little bit on the next page. So let's go on to the next page. Hit the arrow here to go to the next page. So we're going to decorate an egg some more. All right, so this time we have a chick. The code looks similar, so that draw egg still exists. There's a new function called draw grass blade with another parameter, size. And we can see that it just takes that parameter size and it goes forward that distance. And then there's a question to ourselves, should this function do a bit more? Maybe this isn't very exciting. Maybe we need to change the size of the pen, or be a little bit smarter about how we draw our grass blades. But let's run this one and see what we have. Okay, there goes our turtle, and you can see looks like a chick. We've got a different color for our eggs. There's our second egg. You can see this is size 2. So you can see the second 2-sized egg is pretty big, actually. And then we have a shrink the pen size for finer blades of grass. So we actually have a loop here where we draw 100 blades of grass. Maybe it's not the most attractive lawn. And maybe we should change the angle of these grass blades, but that's not bad. But let's see. There was a note here about adding another turtle. So it says at the end here we do some kind of maintenance code where we we create this thing called a turtle view controller. That's what drives this whole display. Everything that gets drawn here is controlled by this turtle view controller. And we set the speed to fast because otherwise it's a bit boring to wait through it. And then we add the turtle to the view controller. So there was a note up top, way up at the top, by our turtle one, and it said, "Feel free to add other turtles." So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's add a bunny. So we're gonna get down here after all the grass and everything. I want to add another massive egg, like really fat. Use a fat pen and draw it same size as this, just with a really fat pen. So let's do that. Let's go below the grass. We're gonna say we're gonna create a variable called turtle2. So var, if you remember, that's the syntax for a variable. Turtle2, we're going to say equals, and we're going to make it a turtle. And we're going to do a open and close parentheses. Now, we haven't implemented our autocomplete for this playground. So now we get to this point and we say, oh no, you know what? This is just going to give me that little triangle turtle. I don't want just a triangle turtle. I want like an emoji looking one. So let's go back up here because it's not giving me any hints down here. So let me go grab one. And this is how you create a turtle where you can name it and give it a little avatar. So, okay, cool. So it's a name and then avatar. So let's go back down, way back down to our thing. And we're going to type in name followed by a colon, because this is the name of the parameter that we're passing in. You can see that when we initialize a type, we can also have parameters for initializing that type. So then let's get our quotation marks and let's call this one EB. I want to bring the Easter Bunny back. And close this quotation marks. And then the second parameter was avatar. So avatar, and it would help if I spelled it right, because if I don't spell it right, the compiler is going to complain. There's my colon again above the K. And this is a string, so I'm going to use this quotation marks again. And tap down here to get my emoji keyboard. And let's see, I'll tap on the animals and let's add in the bunny again. So we're going with our Easter theme. I'll tap on the quotation mark above the L. Okay, now I can see I have a red dot. So some of you may have spotted what I did already, but it's looking for a comma separator between my parameters. When you have multiple parameters for a function or for an initializer, you need to make sure that they're separated by commas. So I'm going to hit fix. It added in the comma right there after EB. And then I have to remember, like the comment said, I need to add my turtle to the view controller. So I'm going to say VC dot add turtle. And this one is called turtle2. So I'm going to hit run my code. All right, and there's my second turtle. So not bad. You can see that when I add, I have a little bug in my code, in the turtle graphics code, because when I add a second turtle, things get way faster. So that was explain some of the funny stuff Dylan was seeing the other day. So now I want to have this guy draw something. So let's call draw egg. First let's set our pen size. Turtle2, set pen size. So let's make it really big, 50. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call draw egg. And if you remember, that has a size parameter. And what we'll do is we'll make that a size of 1, because I want it to be the same size as this one over here. And I remember, if I look back up at my code up here, so there's draw egg 2, and that drew this one. If I keep going up, there's draw egg size 1. So this, I want to draw something that size, but with a really fat pen. So let's try it size 50. So let's try running this code. We've added our turtle. We're over there. We've set our pen size. We're calling draw egg. So if we hit run my code, oh dear. Ah, bummer. Okay, so this guy tried to draw an egg down below. And then this guy just kind of left a splotch behind. Which is a good reminder, because I don't want it to be black. A black egg might be a bit frightening. So let's set the pen color. And then we're going to have to go fix our code a little bit. So turtle 2, I want the pen color to be, we'll tap on this little swatch. Let's make it yellow. Okay. So now let's go take a look. So I call it draw egg, which jumps way back up here. And when I call draw egg, it only ever sends messages. It only calls methods on turtle 1. It doesn't call them on my other turtle. So I can fix this a couple different ways. And this comes down to one of the big principles that we try to teach in this course is all about organizing your code and different ways to organize your code. Everyone's going to organize it slightly differently. In this particular case, we've got a function. Now we could define this. We could say, do you know what? If I could get a hold of that turtle type, I would love to add a draw egg method to that turtle. So then I could say draw egg on the turtle, and then each turtle would know how to draw an egg itself. So I could say turtle2.draw egg. But I don't have access to that source code right now. So here's another way I could fix it. I could add another parameter. If I tap on this draw egg function, I can see these 2 dots were added. Let me drag those over. And I'm going to add another parameter. And let's call this one turtle. And it's going to be of type turtle. Oh, and I've got a little error, so I'll have a quick check. Draw egg size turtle declared here. Oh, and it's saying missing argument for parameter turtle in call. Insert turtle, and then pass in a turtle. So let's go fix it. Now, this draw egg, I wanted the first turtle to draw that, so we'll say turtle 1 here. Because up above, I've just said, hey, I only want us to pass in turtles here for this turtle parameter name. All right, so I still have some red arrows on the screen. This one's saying what? Missing argument for parameter turtle in call. Because now I changed it. It's not just draw egg with a size anymore. Now it's looking for a comma and then a turtle after it. So let's do fix. And this is turtle 1 again. So let's pass in turtle 1. Okay. There's another red arrow down here, so let's keep going down. If I tap on it, you can guess what it's going to say. Oh, I'm missing. I only have a size defined, not a turtle. Now this one, we want turtle 2 to do the job. So let's say turtle 2. And I've way mistyped that. Turtle 2. So you can see the way I call my function is different now. It's draw egg. First parameter is size, and that's going to be 2. And then this next one is going to be turtle 2. Actually, that's wrong. I don't want that one. I want that one to be turtle 1. My mistake. It's the one down here that I want to change. This one has still got a placeholder there, so that's the one I want to have be turtle 2. Okay. So that's looking better. we're passing in a turtle now. Let's try running this, see what happens. Okay. Oh man, our turtle one did the job again. Can anyone guess why? Well, if I look here, I have this parameter, but I didn't actually use it anywhere in here. And this is where coding can be a little bit frustrating, because I could scan this really quickly and go, yep, turtle one checks out, turtle one checks out, all this checks out. When I'm actually looking for turtle, that extra one at the end is a killer. So let's get rid of it. Let's put a dot in there, turtle. Now we have to go change all of those to just plain turtle. So what we'll do is we'll use the turtle that gets passed in and say, hey, turtle that got passed in, go forward such and such a distance. Turtle that got passed in, turn right 1 degree. And again and again and again. So let's keep going. We're going to fix our code here. So you see, I've got my first two. The first for loop. The second for loop is fixed. Let's fix the next one. And remember, to get finer control over your cursor, if you tap and hold on the space bar, then you can drag around the screen to move the cursor. So if I tap and hold, the keys go dim, and now I can move it around the screen. So I delete that. I'm going to tap and hold again. Oh, and I can't reach down there. So here, if I delete any extra characters other than just the one, I need to go replace them, like the dot. All right, so now if I go read my function here, all of them are using turtle, 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 turtle. That's the one I'm passing in. Now let's try running our code and see what happens. There goes our grass. Okay, cool. All right, our bunny drew an upside down egg. Cool, that's cool. That's kind of, that does what we want it to do. So this is where functions with parameters are super useful, because I didn't have to then go rewrite, or even just copy and paste is a pain enough, this draw egg function to support turtle 2. I just passed in the turtle as a parameter, and then I was able to tell multiple turtles, turtle 1 and turtle 2, I could add a third or a fourth and have them also know how to draw eggs. So that's where our functions with parameters really come in handy. It allows you to write code that you'll be able to reuse again and again. And now that we've figured out how to draw an egg, we don't have to ever solve that problem again. We've solved it. All right, so let's go jump back quickly to the book. And then we're going to go to Learn to Code 2 again. So we've generalized a function. What we're going to try to do now is place at a specific location. So we're going to go to this playground page in the book. So let's open up Swift Playgrounds. We're going to go back to Learn to Code 2. This is the one that we solved, the generalizing a function. So I'm going to tap here on the table of contents, and I'm going to go to placing at a specific location. Okay, so this is where, especially if you really like these puzzles and you want to do more with these puzzles, Learn to Code 2 is a great playground for them, because at the very end, you'll be able to build your own world a lot like this, just with your own blocks, your own creations, your own portals, gems. You can do all sorts of things to these worlds. But right now, what we're going to do is figure out how to walk around and how to navigate and place our experts and characters on the board. So the goal is place your character at a specific point on the board. And so far, we've always seen those arrows somewhere on one of these blocks that tell you that this is where your expert is going to be placed, or this is where your character is going to be placed. So now we're going to we have this thing called a world. The world refers to this whole scene here. this scene that we've been kind of navigating. That's something somebody at Apple wrote. It's got a method on it called place, and it takes 3 parameters. Now remember, a method is just a function on a type. So methods can also have parameters and multiple parameters. So it's going to take an item. So the item type includes character and expert types. It's going to take a column, which is going to be a number, and it's going to take a row, which is a number. So we have to figure out what column and row. Now, some of you who've done my Turtle graphics class in person, we've learned a lot about the grid and how we move around the grid, and it's 0 0 at one end and 1 1 at the other, maybe, to move around the grid. We can actually find out what coordinates we have here on the world by tapping on a tile. So if I tap here next to the lock, I'll see that it's 3 0. If I tap here in the corner, I'll see that that's 1 0. And that water is 0 0. So now we can use it like this: world.place expert at column 1, row 1. Now they were kind of clever the way they defined this method so that you don't actually need a parameter name in front of it. So we can say, okay, let's place the expert. Let's place them at 3, row 0. And let's run my code. Okay, cool. There's my expert. Now, that might not be the place that I want to place him. Maybe I want to place him up here to start, because if I look at this puzzle, if we think about now how we solved this puzzle, so we've got our kind of cool function that we can use. Let's figure out how we're going to solve this now. So we're going to have to probably, if we start here, we can turn the blue bridge up, but we're going to be stuck because we can't get across to get this gem here. So let's maybe start here. So 2 6 instead of 3 0. And then I'm going to tap down here. Now I may have done something like this. If I typed in 6, I may have hit return and started trying to type my next thing. Because what do we have them do? Turn the lock up. We'll say expert dot turn lock up. Now we have a little error here saying it's expecting a comma. Now we don't want to put a comma in because we didn't mean for this to be a parameter, right? So actually what we want to do is close this. Oops. Close that. And now we'll have an error because it'll say expected an expression. So it needed something else other than just a closed parenthesis. So let's get rid of that. Okay. All right, let's run our code. Okay, we're not facing quite the right way. But actually, is there another way that you can solve this puzzle other than turning the lock up? Possibly. What I want you to do is spend the next little while trying to figure out what other code you could write to solve this puzzle other than placing the expert there, turning the lock up, collecting the gem, going down, collecting that gem, turning the lock up, through the portal, down and over to get the gem. Try and figure it out. We'll check back in with you tomorrow and we'll go over this playground page tomorrow and see what solutions people came up with. All right, this has been Coding at Home for today. We'll see you back again tomorrow. Happy Easter again, and we'll see you tomorrow.